We start with the most common form of cell division that we talk about most of the time, which is mitosis. That is the sort of cell division that happens in asexual reproduction, things like bacteria and amoeba, but also in cloning of cells that happens in your tissues, for example, repairing skin cells and so forth. Now that's where a normal cell, a diploid cell, diploid meaning it has pairs of chromosomes, in our case 23 pairs, 46 chromosomes, that the nucleus of that cell will copy and divide the cell, and you end up with two diploid cells. So the number of chromosomes has doubled from 46 to 2 lots of 46, 92. And you've got two cells, and they are clones of each other. Now that's the most common situation, but you also have meiosis to know about, which is where a diploid cell breaks in much the same way, copies and divides the nucleus, but then breaks again, or rather than forming two diploid nucleuses, it forms 4 haploid cells. So 4 half cells, instead of having 23 pairs in each, they're sets of 23 individual sets of chromosomes. So the process is the same in terms of numbers. 46 has become 92, but instead of these 92 being in 23 pairs, they're 23 singles. Now that results in a high degree of variation. Each of these haploid cells will be probably unique compared to the others, and that's really useful for sexual reproduction. Now, that's the last bit of this, is why I've got fertilization on here. These haploid cells are not essentially viable cells, really. They're not like diploid cells. They're missing their other half, and that's where fertilization comes in, where 2 haploid cells, in this case a sperm and an egg, but it could be a pollen cell and an egg cell in a plant, these haploid cells have to join together to form a zygote, a single diploid cell. And that's the process of fertilization.